What's up guys, James from AimSurplus. I'm not here with a product spotlight or a new brand spotlight. We did an EDC video a while ago that was a big hit. People were asking a lot of questions like, oh, why do you guys run these on your pistols, this and that. One of the other questions we get a lot on social media or even in the showroom is, what do you guys like on your rifle? How do you set your rifles up? What do you recommend? Well, we don't like to just push stuff because we have it. We like to push stuff that we actually use and we enjoy. So I figured, hey, let's take a look at some of the employees' guns and see how they're set up. So I'm going first. I built this guy last year, partially in the pandemic, out of boredom. I always wanted a clone gun. I wanted to do a Gordon build, and as soon as I was trying to find parts, I said I want a quad rail. So I switched it up. Kept kind of the Gordon paint scheme because I had 4 cans of spray paint laying around and said, hey, why not? Up front, I have a Dead Air Nomad. I bought that originally because I had a 300 blackout, and the more I shot 300 blackout, I said this is way too much money. Sold that, and part of that money funded this. So I run the Nomad, love this thing. Xeno mount on there, Dead Air muzzle device. Up here I got a ProTac light. I went with it because it's what we had in stock at the time. T-Rex, Arisaka collab forward light mount. We've got this super cool TDI Arms foregrip. Don't know anything about it other than we had it in the back and Brian said I could buy it for $5, so I bought it. Going forward onto the rail, it is a Daniel Defense Car 7. It came in on a police trade-in. I bought the upper and only wanted the handguard, so I kept that. The rest of the upper is a Colt 11.5. So technically this is my 2-stamp gun, pretty sweet. I have a Geisley supercharging handle. Not my favorite, but it's what I had in the safe, so I threw it on here and said, hey, let's run it. I got a Bushmaster lower on here. Surprisingly enough, came with an ambi safety. Everything else is all mil-spec. I bought this lower because, as you can see right here, we got law enforcement markings. Thought that was kind of cool, so I ran with it. Some people are probably mad that I painted it. You should have bought it before me. On this lower, I also have a forward controls mag release. I have short fingers, so I don't like having to adjust my hand a lot. This one I can get it perfectly. Plus, a lot of the people on the internet, I want them to think I'm cool. So I bought that, hoping that I could join the Cool Kids Club. Let me know if I get in, guys. Then, one of my favorite things is actually the first optic I bought when I started here. 512 EOTech has the L3 law enforcement only markings on it. With this lower being law enforcement only, I thought, hey, let's throw that on there, it'll match. Neomag Sentry Strap, Neomag Sling, and padded sling. Duramag, lasered in here. I like Hawaii. Hawaii is cool. I like Hawaiian food. Why not put a hula girl in my mag? Other than that, everything else is whatever came on this. I have no idea what it is. I might have to change this trigger out. It's kind of boring for my liking. I run the Geisley SDE on the other 2 rifles that I have. Might put a curved one in here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Other than that, this is my fun gun. I haven't taken classes or anything with it. I take it to the range, and I didn't plan on it being my most reliable rifle, but I have had 0 issues and like 4,000 rounds to this thing. My other guns, sometimes they give me problems. This one, it's like a Honda Civic, but American. That's all I got. Let's see what Josh has. Everyone hates Josh Vance, but he has some cool guns.
Hey guys, Josh with AimSurplus, and today we are going to go over my personal rifle. A lot of times when people come to the showroom, they say, hey, recommend me a product, and then, oh, are you recommending that just because you sell it? And the answer is no. This rifle is built with primarily parts that we carry here. I don't think anything I haven't bought here. With that being said, we'll go ahead and clear the gun, get started on it. So up front, I do have a Dead Air Sandman K. So I run the K because I wanted a smaller can to fit onto the rifle for like classes and stuff. If you're shooting 5.56, you're really not shooting it because you like how quiet it is. And if you're putting a can on it, it's usually just to be nice to your neighbor. So I bought the K and then I added the e-brake to it. With the e-brake, you actually get less back pressure, which is super cool because it lets you tune your rifle a little bit better. And then overall, this is actually the same length as the Sandman S, which is the more popular can. You get very similar, you know, sound suppression out of it. So I figured I'd take the same length can as the Sandman and then get the free the free lack of back pressure. So kind of a cool can setup. Underneath there, I do have a dead air flash hider. I do like the flash hider over the muzzle brake. Nothing special. You choose whichever one you like. Next, I have some Troy Industry iron sights. These are the micro, so they're the metal ones, the front and rear. My light is a Streamlight HLX, the ProTac. The one weird thing that I do is I do run an Arasaka adapter so I can run Surefire plugs, and that lets me run my mod light mod button. I think this thing is a great slim button, and I definitely wanted to have that. With that being said, I keep telling myself that when this light breaks, I will replace it because it's not my favorite light. However, I've had this thing for years. I've taken it through classes, I've beaten it up a little bit, and it has not broken. This is my one rifle that has seen the most rounds, seen the most classes, and honestly has gone through the most changes, just because I keep finding things I like on other rifles and moving it over to this one. With that being said, the handguard is an example of that. I have a Knights URX Ford on here, so it's the M-Lock version. And then I have some Centurion rail panels on the side. If you know anything about Knights, you know all their stuff is quality, and I actually love their handguard. By far one of my favorite handguards. On the bottom, I do have the Mo vertical foregrip and a Centurion hand stop. What I like about this setup is it gives me a nice little pocket to put my hand, and then I have access to my light, I have access to flip up my iron if I need to, and it's a nice angle to pull back and get a good purchase in your shoulder. And then the front of the hand stop is great just to have for if you need to barricade up against something or whatever it may be. Behind that is just a normal mil-spec BCM upper, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. On the top though, I do have an Aero Precision SPR lightweight mount. I don't save a ton of weight on this rifle, so I will take it where I can get it. And then in here, kind of an interesting optic, I have an old school Vortex Viper 1-4. As a guy with astigmatism and glasses, I really like it when the low end magnification is a true 1.1 and not like a 1.2 or something like that. A lot of scopes, unless you're looking at them side by side, you really won't notice. But I do notice because of the depth perception a little bit. So this optic's been beat up quite a bit. I probably could send it in to get a new one, but I'm gonna keep running it until it dies because I like this optic so much. The glass is clear and the low end is a true 1.1. In the charging handle, I am running a Geisley Airborne. I love how sleek it is, how low it is, how low profile it is. But the best thing about it is it has this ledge back here, and this ledge is great for trapping gases in the upper. It is not an SD charging handle. I don't know that I care for those too much. I do care for the charging handles that have this ledge back here. And with that being said, you know, with my can on it, I have less back pressure, so I'm not getting as much gas back here, hopefully, in theory, to begin with. Then I have a super dirty AimSurplus bulk carrier group. This is the titanium nitride. I bought this bulk carrier group like my first week here. I put it into this gun and it's kind of lubed here. I really don't clean it. I will take a little bit of lube every time I go out and shoot, toss some lube on, and go back to work with it. With that being said, I did wipe it off a little bit today so you can see the AIM logo, but that is the cleanest this bolt has been in a good while. Moving on to the lower, I have an M4E1 Aero Precision lower. Some people love them, some people hate them. I love the magwell and the skeletonized trigger guard. You do get the benefit of where all the roll pins go, you have set screws, so that's nice for installation and stuff like that. Standard takedown pin, standard bolt catch, but I'm rocking a Radian's Ambi Safety in 45 degree. If you hear that tactile click is exactly the reason I use them. I do love them. They are expensive though. I think they rock at like 45 bucks plus sometimes. The installation is super easy, but it's that tactile click for me. If you don't want to spend 45 bucks, the AIM Ambi Safety, we made sure it had that click. That click is one of the biggest reasons our safeties are as popular as they are. And not of the trigger. So people are always like, Josh, you obviously work at AimSurplus, you're gonna run an aim trigger, right? No, and not because they're not good, but because I'm a two-stage guy. So as a two-stage guy, there are very few triggers out there that beat a Geisley two-stage. In here I have the SDE trigger with the flat bow. I think that the flat bow SDE is hands down the best two-stage trigger on the market. Very few things come close to it, and almost nothing beats it. I do have a BCM Mod 3 grip on here, and I will say that all of my rifles, they have a BCM Mod 3 grip, and they have a Geisley G2 or a Geisley SDE. I like the idea of being able to pick up my gun, any gun out of my collection, and know that I am comfortable with the pistol grip and I can run the trigger. I think that's just a cool thing to do. Keep all the muscle memory the same, even though it's not too crazy. But you've seen people get trigger freeze on guns that they're not used to, and then I just want to know that I can run my trigger well. Internally, we do have a Geisley braided spring and a T2 buffer. I think that is an awesome setup for a short gun like this. I am running a B5 Bravo stock. To me, this is the most iconic stock out there. I think it looks good on every rifle. It's got a lot of weight to it, so it balances out the rifle really well. I don't know if I said my barrel. My barrel is a Faxon 10.5. I did have an 11.5 inch barrel in here from another company, and I had some accuracy issues with it. So I did swap to the 10.5. I think I will probably go back to a Faxon 11.5 gunner. The 11.5 gunner is hands down my favorite barrel across probably any company. But other than that, nothing crazy, nothing special. This is just my go-to rifle, my favorite rifle that's in the most rounds. I do sometimes go back and forth on the EOTech and the optic here. I will put an EOTech on and rock that, but it's really hard to beat the versatility of an LPVO. With that being said, if there's anything that you are like confused about, or you're like, man, that's dumb, why are you running that, or you would change it, leave a comment, let me know what you think, tell me I'm dumb. But other than that, if you stayed around this long, thanks for watching. I appreciate you for checking the channel out. Make sure to subscribe, do all that cool stuff, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.